Welcome back to the HGC Europe. We are getting ready for game number 3. Currently, the Misfits are taking on Trick Esports, and they are dominating 2-0 right now in this series, looking for a 7-0 overall.
Yeah, they're looking really, really powerful. What to expect from Misfits, who are looking to establish themselves not only as the greatest in Europe, but the greatest in the Western scene. It's very hard to dispute that right now. Obviously, we're going to get the answers very, very soon at the Western Clash.
That we are. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of Falstad picked up early here, and just, it makes a lot of sense. You know, when you have a opposing team that has a 70% double warrior or more, just go for the global pressure and make sure that you show up for the fights and you're good to go. Let's find out which battleground we're going to for game number 3. Remember, this is a best of 5 series. If Misfits win here, they walk away with an overall victory. All right, where are we going? Would it be Sky Temple? Yep, Misfits, if they pick it, they're going to Sky Temple. This is their best map in the HGC, 5 and Goose Egg.
So far, they've made this very swift. Very swift indeed.
11 minutes, both times.
Yes. If they open up opportunities, they will look for a boss fast here, and they will look to cripple that bottom lane hard. So Trick Esport is going to have to be playing very, very cautiously on a map like this, because we could quite easily see Misfits just steamroll that bottom lane and make this another 10, 12-minute game if they get the opportunity to.
And what's also interesting to note, too, is that there's been so much variety from Misfits on this battleground. They've ran their Falstads, they've ran Li Ming in the past, they've even ran Tyrael as one of their first couple of pickups in the front. It's really hard for Trick Esports to get a handle on what exactly Misfits does in this map, because they just seem to run it so well. Last time they even had Ragnaros picked up, I think, in the 5th slot.
Yes, I think at this point, probably ban the Ragnaros if you Trick Esport, but it's got to the point now where you can't actually ban Misfits out. They have too wide a hero pool, they have too wide a strategy bank that they can fall back on. So think what you don't want to play against compared to what you don't want your opponents to have. Like, if you know what I mean, because they'll just play anything and play it well.
Well, last game, Trick Esports went for the strategy of pinching out the supports. Didn't really seem to pan out too well for them. Instead, looking to hover Falstad. I like that adjustment due to the fact that both times Falstad went over to the Misfits, and they've really exploited that global control and how hard it is for Trick Esports to get engagements.
I wouldn't mind if they banned Ragnaros and took Falstad themselves, unless they're going to take Ragnaros, because right now in the hands of Nerock, it's looking really menacing, and it just creates so much destruction with Sulfura Smash. It just does so much damage, and 9 times out of 10, they get the stun to follow up on Sulfura Smash doing big damage in the core of it.
Well, you have to look at it from the perspective of Trick Esports. They feel like they've gotten really good engages both times in fights. It's just been turned around every time by Mighty Gus and Falstad rotating in. So hopefully, their thought process is, we get a hard engage, which the Haka gives them, we get global presence, and we should be fine, because as a team, we do know how to pounce. It's a matter of actually taking out whatever we pounce on.
Yeah. Now, one thing to note is that actually this is one of the maps that you see less of Ragnaros on, because you know, you're not going to use Molten Core to soak up shots. You're just going to be using it in case an engage comes down. So it doesn't quite feel in tune with the map mechanic, or the battleground mechanic, I should say. So the Zero Tool means that now they just either force Trick Esport to take Jaina now, which I wouldn't mind, because Crosby is good on the hero, or ban it. I would prefer the Picket for Trick Esport.
I think I would too, personally, but I think they go Tychus. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Just Trick Esports, they're so set in their trends, it seems like. They rather do their adaptations on the warrior roles and figure out their world from there and stick with their Tychus. So they finally get their ETC, they get their Tychus again. Now Misfits, on the other side, can set themselves up for a solid play here. I wouldn't mind banning out Rhaegar, as Rhaegar is one of the go-tos again for Trick Esports. Just hurt them slightly more, you know? Take out their consistent plays. Yeah,
and then that would force Nape to either go Brightwing or then deeper into his pool, which was an Uther or an Oriel. I would say Uther would be the deeper choice if they didn't want to go Brightwing. But now, looking at the side of Misfits, they have a Zero Tool available, so Brightwing's not actually the worst pickup for Trick Esport, but they've got to think about the follow-up damage from a Zero Tool. It's like, can Brightwing out-sustain that kind of blow-up? So, and normally I would say no. So Rhaegar will be the ban. So this has to be Jaina, right?
Yeah, Jaina, Diablo, those are 2 that hover in my mind. I think I wouldn't mind the Diablo ban and give up Jaina, because I think if Jaina gets banned out, we might see Misfits pull out Hasselhoff's Li Ming.
You see, as much as you wouldn't mind the idea of a Diablo ban, I think that Blumby has just been navigating away from it quite a lot.
It's true.
In the past couple of weeks. We've seen more Varian, Tyrael, and even Muradin from him than the Diablo. I think in the first couple of weeks he played it a lot. They're going to ban Ragnaros.
Wow.
I think that's a good ban too, but now we know where Misfits is going to go. They have to.
Jaina and...
See, this is why I was...
Tyrael?
This is why I wanted... say Jaina instead of Tychus on the other side, because regardless of what goes with Zeratul, you could in theory limit Zeratul from Jaina and Ragnaros if they'd have gone Jaina instead of Tychus. Because now Misfits just takes it with whatever they want. As you say, Tyrael could be great.
Jaina, Tyrael, Jaina, Varian would be the two that would fit the trends of Misfits. Tyrael for boss control, Varian for fight control.
The thing is that technically they don't even have to go Jaina. If they went Varian Li Ming now, I'm also very happy with that. Like,
yeah, true. And you just let Zeratul do his own thing with Nurok. And they actually seemed to go that route more than Wombo combos. They did Wombo combos in week 1.
Yeah.
But then afterward, they started switching up. There it is, Li Ming and Murdered actually instead.
Okay. So I guess what they're concerned about is the fact that Muradin, in terms of his stun, and then a Li Ming follow-up is actually a little bit more ranged than a Varian. If Varian charges in and taunts against an ETC and Dahaka, he's getting power slid and he's getting dragged, and then he's probably going to die himself.
Yeah, especially against the Tychus. Murdered at least has escape tools.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the thought process there. So over Strict, we now have our Tychus, our ETC, our Dahaka. You were talking about Brightwing first. I'm inclined to side with you on that one. Brightwing would be my first pickup. Did you go triple warrior here, though? Do we see Zarya from TT Sports?
Please, no.
I just feel like knowing them, that's what's floating through my mind.
You know what I want? I actually, as much as, yeah, Brightwing's really cool against the Zeratul to be able to spot him out with Peekaboo or whatever.
Ooh, we're going triple warrior, but we get Tyrande Whisper Windu.
Okay, so triple warrior actually with Tyrande is interesting because whereas normal triple warrior doesn't really have that blow-up potential, Arthas and Dahaka actually do quite a bit, not only with Frostmourne Hungers, but Dahaka just in general anyway. So with Hunter's Mark, this could work. I don't know whether it works against Misfits, but against maybe other teams, it could work. We'll see.
Man, so there are two options here for Misfits. They either stretch the map with some kind of split push, or they go for more damage. Li Ming Zeratul I don't think is enough to control Dahaka, ETC, Arthas, unless you can burn out the Tyrande and then out-sustain them with Malfurion.
I think you just go Leoric. No, wait a minute. I jumped to a conclusion there very swiftly.
Am I a weirdo if I say I want Azmodan here?
Why? Just ignore?
I want constant pushes to happen.
Team
I want
fights?
to keep Dahaka in a lane. I want to have my opponent kind of getting sieged down constantly. Tracer?
Cheers, love. All right. So that's Neurok. No, it's not. Sorry, it's Darkmark even.
Yeah.
Because obviously Neurok will be on the Zeratul.
So they do now have the ability to dive back line and live through it. That's what they have now. They have Isolation. They have the Zeratul to jump back. They have the Tracer to go for the Tyrande. Drop Pulse Bomb. Out. Right? There's no major heal here that Tyrande can pull off, even with their overflowing at level 13, to really deal with the Pulse Bomb that comes their way.
Yeah.
So it's all about getting that pick off. They can get Tyrande or Tychus. Again, we've seen it in the past. Triple warrior compositions just fall apart if they take out that back line.
Yeah, yeah. Because you can't really focus too much on the front line for them. If they do, then they're trying to chew through a wall that's going to take a lot of chewing. So, yeah, I think that's probably quite a good choice. Just to dive on down back, and then you don't heal through that. If it works out for Misfits, you don't. As Strict Esports, you don't heal through that with a Tyrande. Yeah,
so Tyrande's positioning is going to have to be on point. Also, I would love to even see, honestly, auto attack build from Tyrande so you can actually deal with that Tracer too. And if you can get a focus attack onto that Tracer, suddenly she's deflected away from the area. So there are things that can happen here for Strict Esports, and if they do sustain through the initial engagement that comes their way, they can bully through.
If the game went long and they were on even talent tier throughout the entire game, which very rarely happens with this triple warrior, it normally just falls behind.
Yeah.
And ETC had prog rock, and at level when he gets to his 20 globes, actually was able to help out some of that sustain and healing. I can see where they could win those fights, but until that spot and until those stipulations are actually met, I don't think so. maybe Shadowstalk would help someone as soon as they see Tracer actually diving forwards, but I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be Starfall because they want a little bit of extra damage for that blow up. So,
And zoning control.
blow up.
Okay, game 3. Let's do it. Sky Temple. Misfits are currently 5-0. Can Tricked Esports upset them? We'll find out here in our next match.
One thing's for sure is that Tricked Esports has brought a different style to each game to try and topple Misfits. So, to the left-hand side, Alex the Pro G on Arthas. We will have Crosby on the Tychus. Next up is Eternal playing ETC. We will have Rema Baller going to be on the Dahaka, and it was indeed Nape going to be on the Tyrande.
To the far right, Misfits here, currently 2-0 the series. Splendor on Malfurion, back to his normal Druid. Blumby will be playing Muradin. Darkmonk on Tracer. Hasuabs on Li Ming. The last time we saw him here, he went off on that character. Nurok will be showing Zeratul.
There's just a lot of comfort behind the side of Misfits. You've got, you know, as you say, the Li Ming, Hasuabs. You've got Zeratul by Nurok. And, well, looking for some damage instantly. Nurok is down here, so he could poke, but he doesn't really want to go too far close towards them. Just drops his bomb.
Singularity spike. Boom. Big W there. Here comes Darkmonk on the side. Gonna start working on those auto attacks. Careful around that overkill.
So you can see already that Tricked Esports is gearing up to try, not only seize the advantage in terms of experience, as Dahaka's gone to the top now, to just soak, but also focusing the most important lane. They want to try and get that open. They want to try and just find an advantage early on. Maybe just try and seize a boss themselves early on. It comes back to the, it's kind of like a cheese of, we are just going to try and rule the early game so hard that we can snowball it and try and finish as fast as you finished the last 2 maps. So maybe we could see something, but with Triple Warrior it's difficult. Like, is he just... No, not dead.
Oh, the drag there. The rotation from Nape and Eternal was scary enough. Misfits able to see that there with the scouting drone popped up from Malfurion, but
that's
solid route.
That's not a fun lane for Darkmonk against the Tychus, so he's going to have some support come down his way eventually.
Yeah, Crosby definitely wave clears way quicker here. Eternal looking ready. He's primed. He saw him move slightly there. Waiting for Darkmonk to move up and scout out this engagement. Nape will begin grabbing the Shrine, but with the Tyrande sitting there and you're not seeing where ETC is at, Darkmonk's going to play safe.
One thing about this Triple Warrior lineup is that actually I feel that Tricked Esport actually has great control of the laning phase. Zeratul at the bottom doing nothing against an Arthas. You've got Tychus going up against a Tracer that is being threatened by Assault. And then up towards the top, Dahaka is Dahaka, right? So technically speaking, Tricked Esport really wins out the laning phase, but can they make it work beyond that?
That's always the question. Again, you always watch Triple Warriors, the fights just last forever.
Yeah.
Especially with the ability to sustain. You have your ETC with his healing ability. You have Dahaka as well. Arthas can heal at the same time too. Tyrande will be sitting in the back the entire time. She's actually going for Owl build, by the way. So lots of scouting, lots of inflated damage for that Tyrande, but should be helpful. Ooh, Li Ming actually gets picked in the top right here. It looks like Eternal, Nape, and Crosby team up to take her out.
Yeah, getting Hasuobs, which is always nice, and then they will even just push on to steal this count. So you can already see, in the early game, absolute power to Tricked Esport, and I love that they've, you know, from game to game, adapted their strategies a little bit, thrown different things at their opponents, and in this one at the beginning, they're definitely in good stead.
Slow and steady. Misfits just holding on for now. Dealing with those lanes that come in their way. Ooh, wow, Darkmonk with a slight recall there will survive Nape. And his Luna Flare that came out. Had that connected, that's definitely a dead Tracer. Especially with all 4 members being there. The Giants were clear up on the right side. But we're starting to see Misfits kind of wear down a little bit. Turrets in the bottom are taken out. Middle has been taken out as well. The Hawk continuing to push in the top lane. And Tricked Esports continues to pile it on with Giants being grabbed in the bottom left.
Yeah, that was magic, that from Darkmonk. That was like the transporting man from the Prestige. Have you seen the Prestige?
I have seen that.
Yes! Oh, winner!
Moving up. Yeah, man.
That's one of the best films made of all time, just so you know.
Nicolas Cage was amazing in that movie. I'm just kidding.
You're a funny guy.
I have moments. I have moments. Blumby and Hasselhoff can start pushing that top lane. They just want to help with this Dahaka dealing with that top lane. As Zeratil's one up there, and he can survive. He can float around, but he doesn't really keep up in the wave clear department. Trick Esports now is forcing the issue on the bottom right.
All right, so yeah, just getting themselves the fountain alone is great as this gets picked up. Almost a full level lead. Quickly getting there. It's very difficult for them to try and rival that. The one thing that they can try and do is put Blumby on there and then have him potentially dwarf toss out. But because obviously Muradin is not unstoppable anymore, that could be interrupted quite heavily by a power slide, by something in that similar vein. So I think Trick Esports just wins out this bottom location, unless a 5v5 breaks out and Zeratul kind of catches him off guard without the hack coming down in time. Like, put pressure on towards Crosby. If you're Zeratul, he's quite vulnerable right now.
We're going for it. Recall pops out. Darkball's able to blink away. Does get to his teammates. Ludifier comes out. Hasselhoff will get hit with a grenade. He continues to poke there with the Q. Alex the Prodigy, by the way, has picked up Icebound Fortitude at level 7, which means you can get armor by activating it. Great against pulse bombs that come your way.
Good burrow there as well by Ramabola. Make sure that he's not going to get hit by any combos coming out from Leeming, and they will seize control of this temple. So very strong. Misfits is going to spread out the rest of the way and try and find other avenues to get back into this game.
Yeah, with the pressure coming your way in the top lane, you just can't ignore that experience. They're already behind half a level, so giving up on the temple, you've already lost your 4, and Trick Esports will take the lead, and it's refreshing to see here.
Now this is another map, or another composition where I think Ironforged Momentum is another good choice, because you are a solo warrior going up against triple warrior. You know there's going to be a lot of people near you, so just try and do that. This is kind of playing out exactly how we expected it with the triple warrior. They got 10 fast, they knew that they were going to force 10 fast, get on towards the boss, have it pushed down there, and just try and finish the game fast. Like, because if you go into the later stages against Misfits, they're probably going to run you over.
Are we going to see a cheese here? Syndergosa?
Yes, please. I would love to see that. Just go. Just absolutely ramp up the pressure and win right now. Like, in the next 5 minutes, try and win. It sounds ridiculous when I'm saying it, because it's an ambitious and bold play, but you've got to do it. You've got to try. Absolutely.
All right, the pressure here is on the bottom right. Syndergosa has been chosen. Alex the Prodigy will drop Syndergosa. Here goes Odin. Members are hit by the Misfits. Now, do note, Misfits have a pause button. They have Void Prison available, so you can't go for the core, but you can lock down the keep. Alex the Prodigy will lead the charge here on the front, on the right side. Well has been taken out. Nero goes in for some poke. Nape low on health here. Starfall even being dropped on the keep.
Great damage. Really good damage coming out. They're going to open this bottom lane up very, very fast. And that will be brilliant damage coming out. That's exactly what I wanted to see from this composition. And they've played it to a T so far. But now, yes, this bottom lane is open, but how can they exploit that down the line?
By pressuring top. Right now, you set yourself up to have a stronger mid game too. Deal with the Mercs in the top left, grab Mercs every down here in the bottom right, rotate your entire team in the top lane, start beating on that fort. Temples will be spawning up relatively soon, but with the catapult pressure in the bottom lane, Misfits are going to be stretched thin. Zeratul most likely will be the one to deal with that catapult pressure, because the wave clear is kind of lackluster for the Misfits.
And the attempted stun on towards Eternal doesn't even quite reach him there. It's a good knockback to make sure that he's going to get away, because obviously with that level 4 talent, loudspeakers, just pushes them a little bit extra further. And let's see what they can get done here. Poking from Hasuops. He's very safe there. Can easily just blink on back. Or teleport back, I should say. Zarthus has claimed the bottom temple. This is a good start. Very good start.
Yep. Getting some pressure on the middle fort finally here. Zeratul, Nurok, is on the bottom right, done with the Giants that were coming his way. Should be able to handle those just fine. His team just needs to be careful here in the middle. But Trick Esports isn't doing any aggressive maneuvers right now. Oh, now they are actually. HGC moving on the right side. Eternal will have the power slide available, and Arthas is on his way. Dahaka can burrow in at any point.
Yeah, just bully them. You've got level 13 here for Trick Esports. Just absolutely bully them. Syndragos is going to come in, lock down Marfurin as well as Blumby. Oh, they get blown up. Now there's only 3 damage dealers left. Misfits has to go on the retreat and get out of there.
Coordinated attack. Trick Esports moving for that fort. Could take it down, especially with Odin up here in the top left. Crosby just keeping up with it. There's more shots still available in the bottom lane too. Trick Esports is taking a 2-level lead. 13 to 11 of their opponents and still have tools available to catch their opponents. They're setting up in the Mercs in the top right.
And yeah, it's very good, very good. The boss timing was everything, from the advantage that they established on the bottom lane to getting those towers. Now they just need to somehow continue it on. They need to continue the pressure. That is 100% for sure, because otherwise...
Oh, Crosby's by himself. Nape's coming here.
I think he's saved. He's saved.
Splendor went for the Twilight Dream, but was actually canceled by Eternal, and Hasuobs falls on Li Ming again.
Very good responses. Here comes the stage dive as well on towards Splendor, maybe looking for that power slide. There's already going to be a Void Prism out. That's going to be a pulse bomb onto Atlas Pro G. Splendor's going to end up going down, as that is a 2-for-0 trade right now. And Trick Esports looking for more, gets a triple. And that is a brilliant little hold.
Trick Esports holding their own against the Misfits. Catapults are stacking up in the bottom. Blumby and Darkmock should be able to slow down the rotation. Luckily for the Misfits, we are still early in the game. Just now hitting 10 minutes, so death timers are low. But Trick Esports takes their advantage, grabs the Mercenaries on the right side here, and are looking to go towards level 16, as they are now 3 levels ahead of the Misfits.
Yeah, really good stuff. 6 kills to 0, pushing themselves towards that 16, as you're mentioning. And now, all they have to do is just back off slightly. They took the hard camp, they really alleviated any kind of pressure that would come their way on that front. Just get yourself 16 and push the advantage again. Because the thing is that boss is going to come up pretty soon, I believe.
Yeah, 50 seconds, it'll be up.
Yeah. And then from that, that is technically a win. Now, how can Misfits counter that? They need Void Prison. Other than that,
Void Prison is helpful. Avatar will be available at the same time. Cinder Gosa doesn't affect the core, so you do have defense. You also have Li Ming, so while the pressure can't come your way, I don't think it's a straight win for Trick Esports, but it's definitely a darn good approach.
They don't want that fight, the Trick Esports. They do not want that fight, just back off. There's no reason to take that fight. Misfits would relish the opportunity to take that one. And they will just get away. Zeratul going to pressure the Hacker towards the top. Not a great fight for Zeratul, to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those poke kind of fights, but
yeah.
the Hacker just continues to live through it with essence. 16 to 14 now. And now with the Temple in the middle and the top, this is actually a really good spot for Trick Esports. They have full control.
I always love watching Alex's Arthas builds, because it's always Trail of Frost into Remorseless Winter, so it's just lockdown for days. And unfortunately for Misfits, that's absolutely what Tracer does not want to have to go up against. So the Arthas pick towards the end of that draft was very, very clever.
Darkmock grabbing a few shots here in the middle. Trick Esports will move forward with their health bars here with these multiple warriors and just grab the Temple away from their opponents. Misfits looking for a fight before the Haka can rotate. Nurok does have Void Prison. Tyrande is going to be focused down. The Pulse Bomb does not connect. Unfortunate there for Darkmock. Big Orb comes out though. Crosby in trouble. He is taken out.
That's the exact target that Misfits needs to kill off in these fights. ETC stage diving on towards the back. Nurok is in a lot of trouble right now. He tries to blink away, gets away. Good wave of force there as well, just to make sure he can't follow up on anything, but he doesn't have crowd surface, so it's fine. That's Blumby though, almost dying. An attempted shot there from the Lunar Flare. As a stun goes on against the Hacker, Blumby still trying to keep himself alive. He absolutely has to survive if they want to try and turn around this fight up towards the top. Actually, Tyrande was under a lot of threat.
The block working out there for Blumby as he does survive. Darkmock was in the back, hitting Nape as well. Only one member did fall for Trick Esports. Eternal is in trouble though as he is being focused on. The Pulse Bomb does come out. Darkmock looking for the kill. Almost hitting with the parting gift. Eternal will be able to retreat. Now Tychus has spawned. Blumby looking for the takedown. Can they get it? The damage is just not enough as Alex the Pro-G will retreat, but the Misfits grab a substantial amount of experience there. Almost level 16, but they do have to worry about the catapults that are on their core. 3 about to connect.
And Eternal going in there hard against Hasuobs. A little bit of miscommunication, actually knockbacks when the flare comes out there, so a little bit of a misslip by Eternal, who is under a lot of pressure now from Hasuobs on this backline. He's probably going to end up dying off, but they've lost Malfurion in the process, so Splendor has gone down, and now Hasuobs is in no man's land. As we were looking to try and get on towards him was Nappy. He even took sprints, so he was rocketing towards him. That's a grenade, killing off Li Ming. Tricked Esport in control.
They are here. We had Murden attempt to grab some shots on the
win.
Temple in the middle. Here's the boss. Trick Esports going for the throat as they focus down the boss. Tracer will be able to scout it out. Zeratul on the left here. He does have Void Prison.
Yeah, Eternal saw Zeratul lurking on that left-hand side. They're going to look to try for this. But Misfits absolutely has to make a play. Zeratul has to be in there to try and stop this boss, and he's not.
The stage dive away, he gets away. Oh, Nappy will be able to heal him there. Stormbolt comes out, no takedown for the Misfits, and now they have to deal with the boss and a temple on the top side. Trick Esports has so many options to go for the win, and they're just going for it.
I don't think Misfits has enough here to stop this. I really don't. They're going to have to try and blow up Crosby and take the fight like right now, but they're trying to work down the boss. They're actually doing a lot of damage to that boss. A lot of them do dodge the Sindragosa. Great Void Prism to try and buy as much time as possible, kill off the majority of this boss.
Splendor trying to ice block the drag. Rimmer doesn't go for it. Splendor does retreat. The boss is being focused down.
Well played.
They do clear it up using their heroics to make sure they get in the fight. Darkmok attempting to engage here. Blumby on the left side, moving forward. We'll have a Stormbolt on a second. Who will he connect it with? Nurok goes straight in on ETC. Eternal low on health. Crosby does pop Odin.
Equal talent tiers at the moment here as Remmer is trying to tank up at the front with Axe Pro G. Wave of Force hits a few of them, but really doesn't displace anyone so that they can follow up on them. They're just going to try and get out here. Blumby Dwarf tosses forward and bolts. He's quite vulnerable. They're going to mark him and try and burn him down. Is he going to end up falling? Yes, he will. Perfect plays come out from Trick Esport to punish the desperation coming out from Misfits there.
Holding on 18-16. Trick Esports will retreat with all 5 members up. Misfits only losing 1 member though. The Twilight Dream coming out forced the Dahaka to burrow down, so Misfits continue to hold, and that seems to be the theme here of this game. Here in the Best of 5 series, they're just holding on by the tip of their fingernails.
Yeah. I think I have to pay massive respect really to Nurok and the way he actually played that boss call into trying to attempt onto the core out. The fact that he caught 3 people in the Void Prism, saved it, didn't try and steal because there was very little chance he would try and get that. So I underestimated how much damage they were going to be able to get onto that boss before the fight ensued.
Well, control gets a little bit better here for Malfurion and Splendor. Being able to have the bigger entangling roots will help out against all these big, beefy multi-warriors that are available for Trick Esports.
I mean, they want the fight, right? So it's only 1 temple. They know where their opponents are going to be. Find the fight, kill them off. Eternal in the back lines. They're taking a lot of damage. Stage Dive is going to buy him some time as Trick. We already saw Darkmonk there dashing on out. Void Prism on 1.
Cinder goes to connect with Tracers on the left. Orb comes out for Hasuab. Rimmer chasing down Hasuabs. Yes, no more Splendor. Darkmonk gets owled. It's going to be taken out here by Nappy. 2 big takedowns. Li Ming's still alive, so they're not going to go for the core. They're rotating back to the top here, getting closer to level 20.
That's right. As you can see, the owl in its natural environment, one of nature's most swift predators, will bring down the second target there. Very well done.
Blumby attempting to get away here. The power slide from Eternal. There goes the Lunar Flare. There's the Hunter mark. No cleanse available here. Nurok goes in for the engage to keep him alive. Starfall does come out. Nurok almost going to get Nappe out. Blumby will go for the engage and finally deliver the final blow. Hasuab here with a big orb, but there's not enough damage here for the team. Is going to connect with a Howling Blast from Alex to Proji. 4 members down right now for Misfits. We do have Tracer spawning currently, but can they hold?
I mean, they were 1 second out from a full team wipe. The only reason they didn't get that, pop! Okay, well, it's the fact that Splendor actually respawned. Tracer back in and actually saving this for keep because of that play. Darkmonk, jeez.
Barely holding on here. Looking to get level 20.
I wonder if he could have done that without Jumper, because he took Jumper at level 7, which increases his charges by 1, and thus he has a few 1 extra. And if he'd have taken the one that gets the jumps from the kills, I don't know if he could have done that, because he was in there fast like a shot.
We'll go in and say, yeah, he couldn't have done it. Impossible without that talent pick.
Statistically impossible. It's just science. It's just science.
Well, Misfits, saving that key from the top, can still now hold on slightly here. And they only have the catapult pressure on the bottom. Now, Dahaka could sneak that eventually in the top right, so they're going to put a lot of pressure on that top lane. Grabbing the mercenaries could keep Zeratul around. Luckily for them, there is actually a spawn at the temple at the top.
I've got to commend it how well they've held on.
It's incredible.
Any lesser team would have crumbled to probably that second boss. And now, Misfits just cleaning things up. They need to go and rival that temple, though. There's no other option.
I think they have to wait out to get 22. It's a very tense situation here. You want to have the best chance possible to do a team wipe.
Yeah, I think they can get, as you're saying that, I think they can get 20 and save their last keep, and then just try and take the fight.
Boss is up here.
Unless they go boss right now.
Wow, they're going to do it here.
Uh-oh.
Arthas is in top lane, so he'll be slow to rotate down here. He's just now mounting up already. This is down half health. 19 to 21, remember.
Yeah, and they're going to back off from it. So they force their opponents off top. You know what they could have done? They could have tried to just walk the person off top temple and then just stayed up there.
Cindergosa root does come out. Tracer's going to pop the recall. Trick Esports is staying on top of it. Blumby looking to jump in. He's going for it. He's going to pop his avatar. Oxyprotein, he's getting focused down on the right side, though. Misfits are going for the boss steal. They hold it. They actually take the boss away from Trick Esports. Crosby on the left side. Blumby has a Stormbolt in a couple of seconds.
This is insane. They can win. They can win. Oh, jeez. They can win. They actually don't realize that he's fully based yet. They're wasting time down there. They need to be on this wall. This is their one golden opportunity to end this series 3-0 with that boss.
There will be 3 catapults on the core, so they need to go all in on this, or they need to give up now. They're deciding to go for the all-in play. Void Prison is available. Pulse Bomb is here too. So is the Master Silence. They're going for the core on the back right. Yes, Eternal's here. Neroc's going to start backing right away. So is Hasuab's going in for the defense. Can they get back here in time to deal with it?
I should stop commentating right now. What is going to happen? The Li Ming and as well as the Muradin are just going to defend that out. The boss is going to be quelled. And this is going to continue. All right.
Going to continue here. 15% damage on the core. ETC does escape. For now, Zeratul and the rest of the crew will head to the top here for the Misfits. They need to watch out for the base race, though.
Yes, they do. Owls being sent forward. They want to see if they're on that easy camp down towards the bottom. They are not. They have rotated up towards that temple. Now, any temple phases that are going to come up, we're going to have a double after this, I believe. And then that is where it gets really hard for Misfits. They have to take a fight. But the thing is that ETC with Stage Dive can then split his attention between those two and then reinforce any kind of fight. So right now, Misfits has to force engagements after this temple and try and find big victories there.
Trick Esports moving to the top. Oh, great engagement. Misfits are going for Crosby. Crosby's in trouble. He's focused down. Reset here. Hasuab is going to get hit, though, by the Cindergosa. And 2 get sniped. Darkbuck on the right side as well. Blumby here and Splitter on the top right at the same time. They need to slow down this aggression here. Buy time for the teammates of Misfits to actually spawn and help out in the defense.
Yeah, they're going to help with the bottom lane. They're going to try and help with the bottom lane and find the win there, secure the win there. Now, Nape has to be very, very careful about how Trace is going to go into this fight. About 50% done charged on that pulse bomb. If that gets completed, though, during this fight, then Nape is going to have to be very cautious.
Focusing down the minions in the back right. Finally, Blumby goes in for the engage. He's sitting on top of Nape here, working out the aggression. Twilight Dream from Splinter. Blumby's in the front. Yes, they hold on the healer here. Oh, suddenly a kill, though, on Tracer. Splinter trying to hold his best here.
They can't kill Muradin. They can't kill Muradin during all of this. They're going to try and very slowly. Actually, that was a great drag on towards him. He's going to slam and get those heals coming out from Splendor. But they can't kill Muradin.
Li Ming's up in 13 seconds. They need to start leaving soon here, or Li Ming's going to come in here and get some resets going. Minions are here in the middle of the map. They would love to get this keep, but they're not going to get it. Blumby is not allowing Eternal to go for the retreat as he continues to chase him down.
He has
Li Ming finally spawns, and Misfits holds again.
If they'd have somehow kept Nape alive, I get he had to have been kept protected somehow, some way. The trade-off for Tracer to Nape was just good stuff by Misfits in this. Again, desperate defense.
The final 4 shots will connect with the keep in the middle, but it will survive just
Those minions
barely.
could finish that keep. They get blocked out. That's fine.
Oh man, very intense for our teams here. If that goes down, suddenly 3 waves of catapults. 2 are hard enough to deal with.
That gets to the point where Misfits just waits for the boss to respawn and they try and finish again like that. Because any other way, the keep has fallen. They have 0 keeps against 3 keeps here.
Whew. Some of you at home might just be yelling, why aren't Trick Esports just going for it and suiciding on the core? Void Prison, Li Ming, Tracer, these high mobile and lethal heroes being available for Misfits. It's just enough threat that you can just control the battleground and wait it out. The 3rd keep does fall.
Yeah, technically they have brilliant defense tools available, do Misfits. Especially with Tal Rash's elements. With level 20 Li Ming, means that all of those combos that are coming out are dealing big damage. So, facing someone, I think it was Malfio, and I think he may have got hit by an owl there. They always
Dell's
keeping good eyes on
constantly, yeah, they're poking Li Ming, hitting Malfurion. If anyone that's connects, suddenly you have your squishies at a half health bar. So constant outs from Nape. Working it in.
The most important thing for me is where is that pulse bomb going? Who is it going to hit? Can they get to the back line? Do Crosby and Nape step out of spot? 20 seconds on this boss Trixler. 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Oh, and the temples.
2 of them.
Oh.
And each shot will connect with the core. You'll need a few to break through the armor.
They have to fight. Misfits has to fight.
They got to find their engage. And Tricky Sports is going to play it safe. They stacked up on the left side here. A great spot for Warriors to be. If anything connects, a power slide into a Lunar Flare, a power slide into a Howling Blast, Misfits can lose.
And they wrestle the vision from them. Barely even wrestle, they just take it. Because they know that every little thing is going to matter. If they see someone step out of place up there, then they can potentially exploit that. Okay,
there are giants currently on the core.
But Dahaka's bot. Dahaka is going to be on that temple very soon if he needs to be. And he's actually waited for those giants to be on the core and then start shelling away.
Nurok finds Crosby, goes for it again. Darkmoth with the snipe, and there comes the Starfall already, though we have ETC on the core. We got to go back home.
Oh, Nape taking so much damage here. Oh, God, that could have finished him off. That's it. That's it.
That's game. Eternal just going to go ahead and go straight for the core, and Tricked Esports will grab a victory against the Misfits here, and we are staying alive in this best-of-5 series.
Yeah, it went on a little bit longer than I think both Tricked Esports and myself, for comfort's sake, wanted it to. I think we predicted the entire first 10 minutes of that game, where they're opening up bottom lane, they want that boss, they want to try and do big damage with that, they got to keep.
Yeah.
That set the tone for the rest of the match, where Misfits had to try and scramble from the behind, and it was very difficult. They tried. Wasn't successful.
They did scramble very well, though.
Yeah.
If I ever need them to make eggs, I'm definitely hitting them up. All right, guys, we're getting ready for game number 4. We'll be right back. Here is HGC Gear Up.